Hi, this is Didi. Today we're going to make apple pie. The first thing we're going to do is mix together the sugar, the starch, and the seasonings. You can use white sugar if you want, but my father always used to drizzle a little molasses into the white sugar and it really made a nice flavor. So I'm going to use brown sugar as an easier way to replicate that flavor. So we're starting with a cup of that and then 4 tablespoons of tapioca flour. You can use this or you can use cornstarch or flour. Then we have some cinnamon, a couple of teaspoons, and a little bit of salt. This is fine ground Himalayan. You want about 1/4 teaspoon or so. Then you want to mix everything together with a fork. You want to crush the sugar, mix everything nice and evenly in the bowl, and then this will be ready for your apples. Here we've got our apples all nicely cut up and our mixed sugar, so all we have to do is mix everything together. I've used a combo of Granny Smith's, Yellow Delicious, and Honeycrisp apples for a mix of sweet and tart. You can peel and cut your apples ahead of time and squeeze a little lemon on them to help them stay bright and not get too brown. Here you go, nice and mixed up, and we're ready to put them into the pie. Okay, our apples are nicely coated with the sugar mixture and we've got our 9-inch pan ready to go. We're going to put half of the apples into the dish and then put some butter in and then the rest of the apples. So we have a little butter. You don't have to put the butter in if you don't want, but I like to add it because it makes everything nice and rich. So this is going to be about a tablespoon here, and we'll put the rest of the apples on top. This is going to be a big one. Push the apples down nicely. This is going to be a huge pie. Add a little more butter. These apples are going to shrink down, so don't worry about it being big. We have our pie filled with yummy apples, and here's our top crust. I've rolled it out ahead of time to let it rest. You can fold it in quarters if it makes it a little easier to get it onto the pie. Put the point in the middle and then open it up. Move it around so it's nice and even. Then you're going to trim the overhang. You only want about 1/2 inch, so just cut a little bit off with a knife. You probably shouldn't cut into your hand like I'm doing. Just trim the excess a little so you have just about 1/2 inch all around. Then you want to take the bottom crust and fold it up over the top, kind of turning it. Sometimes it's a little tricky, but that's all right. Fold it over and kind of roll it. This is going to make a classic old-fashioned apple pie, nothing fancy. Roll it out all around, and then when you're done rolling all around, you're going to crimp it between your thumb and first finger just to give it a little one last pinch. This pie, like I said, is a 9-inch pie pan. You can also do this in a 10-inch. That would be fine too. You have enough pastry for that. Using a pastry brush or your hands, we're going to glaze the pie for a nice color. Brush it with a little bit of milk or cream or egg yolk mixed with cream, and then you can sprinkle it with a little sugar if you want. Once you're done glazing the pie, we're going to cut some vents. I usually just do a little bird's foot, just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're ready to bake. Our pie is done and looking pretty. You want to let it cool before cutting, about a ½ hour to an hour. We're going to cut a little slice. I like to use a serrated knife. The apples have shrunk here, so it's not as full as it was. It's looking good. So you just cut and serve. Serve it with some whipped cream, ice cream, whatever you like. Thanks for watching. See you next time.